Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to F1 2020 Season 3 of my team career mode, here for Round 8, the halfway point of the season, my home race, the British Grand Prix. And this is pretty much the first race we've been preparing for where we're going to lose to Daniel. And I'm not saying that to be pessimistic. Obviously Daniel could have some form of reliability problem, but my teammates typically don't get that. The reason I'm saying that we're going to lose is because it's Britain. And we are considerably slower than him, as is proven there by qualifying 2, where we were slower than him on a softer compounder tyre rather. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to this race whatsoever. We get into Q3 though, so I guess that's better than last season and season 1. Unfortunately, I was kind of a monkey coming into qualifying. I forgot to change out my engine components, so we are running with a considerably worn energy store. It's yeah, we're already go through qualifying. As you can see there, it's smoking away quite profusely, so I think we're gonna have to take some engine penalties, which I think I was gonna do actually before we came into this weekend, because this is naturally not a strong track for us. Although saying that, I think I had enough engines to at least put in a decent one that wasn't too worn, but yeah, unfortunately we're gonna have to take it just because I forgot to change it out after practice. So good job me, because I've cooked myself more than I already have done at Silverstone. Anyway, we're still going to qualify. We're still going to hope that we can do well, showcase some good pace as we're coming to finish the lap off. Obviously it's a very quick lap around Silverstone nowadays. Especially in Season 3 of career mode. Hopefully we can get top 5, I would say, would be good as we come through the final corner. Now it's going to be a 1 minute 21.3, and that is going to get us P2. So I guess the pure speed of this car is saving us quite considerably. And as you can see there, yeah, the field is relatively close. You know, I'm half a second off Daniel, Valtteri's half a second off me. Hamilton had a mare in qualifying, so once again, you know, Valtteri just proving that he is probably one of the best drivers on the grid. I reckon if we took away Daniel's perks that he gets from being in our team, I'd say he'd be very close with Valtteri. I'd say Valtteri's probably the quickest driver on the grid at the moment. So that's nice to see, some change going on there. Obviously he won the first 2 seasons of career mode. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to defend his title this season, but yeah, well, unless Mercedes are hiding like 7 million ultimate upgrades to put on the car after the halfway point of the season, but I don't think they are. So let's get ready for the British Grand Prix, and I'll join you at the start of the race. So lining up here, obviously we're starting at the back. Simple strategy, softs to mediums. We're starting on the softs because that's what we qualified on. And it's 5 red lights, and away we go. And a okay launch. I want to hang back here. I don't want to be a complete ape going into the first corner. Obviously there's no real room for us. There's 3 wide up there. Stroll gets caught up massively, so that's a free position for us. We're going to lunge it here though into turn 3, and we're going to move up to P20. Maybe some more positions. P18. It looks like as we try and go around the outside of Magnussen and De Vries here, who are fighting pretty harshly. So yeah, this what I will say is this race is going to be a good one. It's going to be a very good one. Just battling through all of these cars and but just battling with AI and not just driving around at the front with myself and Daniel. And I did enjoy this race a lot more than I thought I would. So yeah, so it wasn't all too bad as we've made up 4 positions off the line. Hopefully we'll get Magnussen relatively soon. For some reason, I don't think it was actually the energy store that was the problem. I think it was an MGUH or MGUK that was smoking on the car. So I've kept the energy store the same. I did that because this game is interesting as we get an absolute terrible run out with Beckett's there. I don't really understand the penalty system in this game for reliability, and this happens in Brazil later on this season. Because I thought that you get 5 place grid penalties. Whether that's different with changing a part between well no, because you can change it between practice and the race. So I don't know like why the AI sometimes get 5 and 10 place grid penalties, because that's what I was expecting to get. The worst to get a 10 place grid penalty is we've got I think Sainz and Albon off there. So we use that to get up the inside of a few drivers, but unfortunately the yellow flags don't permit us from overtaking Magnussen. We are going to have a look at that incident on camera. I'm going to go off my rant here, so we get around the outside of Magnussen once again, so we didn't actually lose out on that position. Yeah, what I don't understand here is we aren't able to go back far enough, but it looks like they came to blows coming through the first corner, which wouldn't surprise me all too much, as it is the AI. The one thing that annoys me about this game is the AI, whenever they get penalties, they only get 5-second penalties, and 5 place grid penalties when they change engine components. Whether that's because they're changing their gearbox, I don't think it will be, because gearbox changes are very rare, at least for me. So whether different components have different penalties worthy, but what I will say is I wasn't expecting a 22 place grid penalty, so we kind of force our way through defeats there and take a second warning. It was a bit clumsy, that move, but yeah, I don't really want to be stuck behind him all too long. So you see Ricciardo's already got a huge lead on us. Yeah, I even went on to go so far, at least after this happened in Brazil, I went onto the F1 regulations for 2020 and I checked to see what, whether changing an energy store or a part of the car gave you like a 22 place grid penalty, because it's such an odd number. As we overtake Leclerc in the most rally-esque style possible. Yeah, I just don't get it. Like the AI get 5 and 10 place grid penalties, but when I change an engine component I get 22. So whether it's down to when I change it or what component I change, if some of you know then let me know, but as I said, I checked in the rulebook and there was nothing, no specific number of places that got dropped. So I think it's just more Codemasters bullshittery and giving the AI an advantage when they clearly don't need one, because they've already got like all the assists. Anyway, rant over. We're currently working our way up to P12 after the first few laps. We had a bit of a gap to close to Verstappen in P11, which we have done on lap 9 now. We're going to be coming to the pits in the next couple of laps, but we're going to try and make a move on Verstappen first. And I'm aiming this race to get P3. Ricciardo is out of the question, long before we even, took the grid place penalty, just the sheer pace he'd shown. Valtteri's doing pretty well. As you see, he's maybe 3-4 seconds ahead of the McLaren of Norris, who is third. So I want to try and get Norris, as I think Bottas will be out of the question for this race, although it depends how much pace we have in clean air. As some people are pitting now a lap early, so they're going to get an undercut, although tyre wear's not much of an issue around Britain, but obviously the undercut always proves stronger. You see our tyres there, 46 on the front left. So I think it's going to be close between the overcut and the undercut, just because we have DRS. But as you can see here, we're going to be coming to the pits, a little train, and I tried to do a cheeky here. I tried to get past Hamilton going to the pit lane. Unfortunately we ghost and the car brakes, so we actually probably lose more time than we gained from sending up the inside into the pits there. But hey, it was worth a shot, and you can see Valtteri is coming through Stowe right now, so I reckon we'll rejoin maybe 10 seconds behind him. What I'm focusing on are the cars behind, specifically the Renault and the Red Bull, I believe it is, as we come into the pits, and I'm looking behind me to make sure I don't get held, and we don't, and we actually jump Hamilton, which is interesting. Kvyat's gone onto hards, so yeah, he's going to be pretty easy to pass. Everyone else is on mediums, I believe, as we come out of the pits, making sure not to do a Romain Grosjean. And we've actually been jumped, or at least some of the cars have pulled further ahead of us. Well, luckily we'll have one of our fresher tyres for the end of the race. And it's a big DRS train, and I think I've got pretty decent straight line speed, as the first car on our list is 11th place Perez. I don't think he's using an overtake there. Maybe we caught him unawares and we get around the outside of him before Stowe. So a pretty decent move there. Next up is going to be Pierre Gasly, who we nearly plough into the back of there going into Abbey. So pretty slow car through those corners, that AlphaTauri, which was actually going to be my team for the just the standard driver career mode, as we come out of Verstappen's just ahead of us. So Verstappen's actually jumped us via the overcuts, but once again we nearly piled the back of Gasly, but we managed to wiggle our way through there. Yeah, the AlphaTauri, this was before I knew about my team. I was gonna, pick AlphaTauri as my, career mode team for 2019. I believe I picked McLaren. For 2018, I picked Williams. So yeah, the AlphaTauri would have been that team, but obviously we got my team, which was a much more entertaining prospect. As we're trying to get the inside of Verstappen here. Unfortunately, he's got quite good straight line speed, but see, this was just so much fun to be a part of. This midfield scrap. Even though my car is considerably faster, I guess it just, it beats what happened in Season 2, where we were just stuck behind so many cars. We actually decided to let Verstappen go there and get a better exit out of Beckett's here. And then we're going to fly past Verstappen and Matsushita, who I don't think are both using overtake. So yeah, this race is definitely an overtaking montage. Obviously, we're so much faster than these guys, but I reckon that the AI being ridiculously overpowered sort of nullifies that a tiny bit. But yeah, anyway, it's just nice to go from last to what is going to be now P6, as we get around the outside of Kvyat, who is still on those hards. Obviously, it's a pretty dumb strategy decision by AlphaTauri to put him on there. May pay dividends later. As you can see, Ricciardo is just, I don't think he's pitted yet, actually. He started on mediums, so yeah, he hasn't pitted yet. But on lap 18, he has pitted. Yeah, and he's on softs now. I mean, Jesus, look at that gap. It's over. He could do a 2-stop and still come out ahead. Anyway, ignoring Ricciardo, we are looking at Aitken as he gets caught up behind the back of his teammate there, and we get the inside of him into Abbey. So it was a pretty late and bold move there, but I'm very happy with the fact that we didn't bin it into the back of him. And we're to P5. So currently Daniel's only gaining 11 points in the drivers. Obviously we would like to lessen that, but yeah, getting Norris. Bottas is looking pretty much out of reach at this point. Well, he's not too far ahead. It's more the fact that we're burning a lot of ERS behind these guys as we get with the inside of Ocon there. A lap after we got his, maybe 2 laps after we got his teammate. And next up is Lando. We're going to try and deny him. Well, we're going to hopefully deny him of a podium. Jesus Christ, that was a difficult sentence to say. We're going to be getting him on lap 20, hopefully. That McLaren obviously doesn't have DRS, and it's not as quick as on a straight line. I don't think he's even deploying overtake. And we get the inside there. Ricciardo, 33 seconds in the lead on softs. So yeah, he's gone. It's a very dominant drive by him. Obviously, even if we'd have qualified next to him, he would still be in the lead by probably 15 seconds. So yeah, unfortunately, we weren't able to catch up to Valtteri. He had a lot of ERS in reserve, and we come across the line. It's going to be last to P3. Unfortunately, we only lose... we lose 11 points to Ricciardo. I got it wrong earlier. We'd have lost 16, but we moved up some places. So yeah, a pretty decent drive, a recovery drive. And that bank of points we had got through the past 4 races has definitely come in handy. So, yeah, as you can see, we made up some decent positions. So too did Hamilton, actually, starting 11th, going to 7th, although he'd probably wanted more from that race. But yeah, you can see how close the grid is. There were some large gaps here and there, but overall it's a very close midfield. And that was, even though we didn't win, we still managed to get a podium out of it. But I was very happy with how we performed that race, and just how fun it was. That was the main thing, actually. I very rarely say a race that I don't win or don't dominate is fun, especially in career mode. But this was nice to have a good old battle with. Obviously, Ricciardo pulled some points in us in the drivers, but in the constructors, we're pulling away from Mercedes, every single race. So sucks to be them, I guess. It's I don't know what Hamilton's doing. It's not even a case of Hamilton or Valtteri performing badly. Not that Valtteri is performing badly. It's a case of their car just isn't the fastest anymore. And yeah, I think the constructors pretty much sorted at this point. Let me know, how many points will we get in the constructors? How many wins do you think we'll get this season as a team, as Chungus Khan Racing? So far, me and Daniel have won every race apart from Australia. And the only reason we lost Australia is because we weren't the fastest car, and because Ricciardo made a really weird strategy decision. But even then, I reckon Ricciardo would have at least got second, if he hadn't have pitted. So I guess we can call, if the season started, if we did Australia, after we did the Dutch Grand Prix, and we had the same car in the Dutch Grand Prix as Australian, we would have won that. So technically it's a 100% win rate so far. Just, we didn't have a good enough car at the end of Season 2, beginning of Season 3. Anyway, enough, wise and where thoughts of what could have happened or what should have happened, because I do enough of that with bloody league racing. We're currently going through the housekeeping section now. We're looking to do some more upgrades. We're again looking at the power unit upgrades, but I'm not really leaning towards the fuel efficiency and ERS upgrades because I don't really need them. We are going to do the final brake upgrade, so that means our car is going to be as strong at braking as it can be now. I was thinking about doing a tyre upgrade, but I decided not to, as our tyre is already pretty decent. I do the ultimate drag reduction upgrade because we do have Belgium and Italy coming up. So we do want as little drag on our car as possible. And now we're renegotiating with Daniel. Obviously we want to renegotiate with him. He's got 100 rating. He's the best driver on the grid at the moment. We do a low risk offer, I believe, and yeah, he accepts that. Which it doesn't bring me too much surprise that he accepted that. He's got a very, very good chance of winning this title. And as I said at the start of this season, this is going to be one of the closest seasons. It is the closest season I've ever done. It's the toughest season I've ever done too. So yeah, you got that to look forward to, because trust me, it gets a lot closer. A lot more closer than what I would have wanted it to be. So yeah, let me know who's going to win, me or Ricciardo. How many points will we get in the constructors? How many wins will we get overall? Will Mercedes manage to get another win this season? Imagine, we've won 7 out of 8 races so far. It's pretty insane what this car is capable of, and I'm very happy with it. It's a good little car. So it's not really little, it weighs 3/4 of a ton, but whatever. Anyway, we managed to get all the upgrades on in time for the Belgian Grand Prix. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time left to do the final activity, which is annoying. But yeah, there we go. That was the episode. Very good recovery drive, very enjoyable 1-2 race. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next episode, round 9, the Belgian Grand Prix. And yeah, let me know what you think to the questions that I asked previously about, where we're going to finish and what the rest of the season is going to be like. And I'll catch you all for round 9, the Belgian Grand Prix, very soon.